Well, French President Emmanuel Macron is facing criticism for his recent comments defending the presence of French troops in Africa. France is in the process of withdrawing troops from Chad and several other countries. Macron sparked a backlash from several African leaders, accusing them of failing to say thank you to French troops battling Islamist insurgencies.
We had a secure relationship. In truth, it was in two parts. One part was our commitment to fighting terrorism since 2013. We were right. I think some have forgotten to say thank you, but that's okay, it'll come in time. I'm in a good position to know that ingratitude is a disease that cannot be transmitted to humans. But I say this for all the African governments who've not had the courage in the face of public opinion to bear it, that none of them would be in a sovereign country today if the French army had not been deployed in this region.
Okay, so that was French president telling African countries to say thank you. Say thank you, because without us, the French, you guys would be in a complete shithole. Basically, that's what he was saying. So I don't understand how African leaders allow themselves to be disrespected like this, because to the rest of the world, to the rest of the developed world, the French army is normally laughed at, is made jokes about because of how they surrendered. So it's ridiculous how to the rest of the world, the developed world, the French army is considered a joke, but then to Africans, the president say, well, you basically have to get on your knees, you African, get on your knees and say, thank you, my master, thank you, Lord Macron, for helping us. That's ridiculous. Now, before I begin, please consider liking and subscribing, and let's look at this issue of this French president. So apparently the French troops are being withdrawn from many African countries, and the president of France, Macron, it reminds me of what macaroons, or what's the name of that candy. Anyway, the president of France decided, like, I have to dress down these African leaders. I have to dress them down. They have to know their role. They have to know their position. They have to remember, without the Lord Master, France, you guys are nothing. So he goes on live TV with no shame in the game. He goes on live TV and says, you guys should be thanking us, first of all. You should be thanking us after all the years we've been looting your country. You should be thanking us after all the horrible things we've done. You should be thanking us. You want to see how France always wants people to thank them? Well, you go back in time. You go back to Haiti. Ask Haiti how France wanted them to thank them, basically. So France, let's look at this article. France basically charged Haiti because there was a revolution. This is back in the days of slavery. And the Haitian people, they fought and they basically stopped the France colonialist, and then France had to find them, and France forced Haiti to pay them so much money. It is in billions of dollars. Actually, let me read this part. It's $21 billion plus 200 years of interest that France has enjoyed. So basically, Haiti paid France around $150 billion to $200 billion. That's how much Haiti had to pay France. So France comes in, wants to take the land, wants to do all these terrible things as a colonialist. They fought them away and sent them away. Then on top of that, they had to pay them $200 billion. And that is the French. That's the French saying, you don't know your place. That's what they did in Haiti. Come to Africa, which they are still doing. Former French colonies are still paying colonial tax. So, man, this is ridiculous. Like sometimes you just look at headlines and you just laugh because it's so ridiculous that you don't want to cry. You just laugh. So these colonies, which are many countries in Africa, they are still paying colonial tax amounting to $500 billion. Countries like Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire. Man, it's so many countries. They are still paying France. So this is what France is doing when they are in Africa. They come to TV, the French president tells you, get on your knees and say thank you because I came to help you with your miserable self. Say thank you to me, I'm your master. But then when they're in the rest of the world, people are mocking them. Even in America, they're mocking this president. They're even mocking his wife. I mean, they made these terrible rumors that she was a dude. Well, the person who made the conspiracy theory stuff was Candace Owens. I mean, Candace Owens is a grifter, obviously. If you know anything, she's a grifter. But let's see Candace Owens' interview when she was speaking about this president who was just telling Africans to say thank you. When she was speaking about the wife of this president on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan.
Voting that I think is an outrageous conspiracy theory, very offensive, very wrong, and I think you've done it just for clout and clicks. Now you can respond, but it's this question about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You've produced zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man, she's a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that
not.
when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
So basically you can see what's happening. To the rest of the world, they make fun of the French president. They make fun of his wife. But when it comes to TV, when he's speaking to Africans, he's telling them that you guys, you should know your place. You should bow down your heads. Don't look at me when I'm speaking. You know, just some nonsense. But the rest of the world here, they are being mocked. The French army is mocked for how they surrendered. Of course, they are very capable now in reality, but the jokes are still there. I'm just trying to bring you a different perspective of how African leaders allow themselves to be treated, because if African leaders had any respect for themselves, they will not be letting this idiot guy speak this way to them. Because to the rest of the world, even somebody like Candace Owens, who speaks 90% lies, can be here mocking the wife of the guy, but then the guy comes on TV and, man. Anyway.
Where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from. And first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years.
Right.
And they teamed up with genealogists and they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous, it's awful, I can't believe that she's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go find the articles that were written by the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists. And while they were working, let me finish the statement, Piers. Okay. While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the secret service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones. They held them. They wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece. And what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating.
Okay, so that's enough of Candace Owens and Piers Morgan. I mean, that was a funny imitation of the British accent. But well, all I'm trying to say is, African leaders, you need to do better. You can't just let this idiot guy come and tell you, you know what, if it was not for us, you guys would be done. Well, first of all, you need to take care of your country. That's the biggest problem. You need to take care of your country so that they don't even have a chance to come and say, if it wasn't for us, there would be no security. So you're a failure in that part. As an African leader, you're a failure. And then you're allowing this Macron guy to come and tell you, do all these things to embarrass you in front of the whole world. When the rest of the world, he's being mocked, even his wife is being mocked, and it's just ridiculous. So, man, please consider liking, subscribing, and share on all the networks. I'll see ya.
Oh my goodness, all the networks! Wow! All the networks!